Muhammad, peace of Allah be upon him, but we follow him. We follow him, his steps and his sunnah, but we will never ever
That is
worship
not what
him.
I asked. I asked you, should I worship him? And
No.
Benny,
We only worship the creator of the world, Allah, the God.
okay.
The one who created Muhammad and one who created you and me
Well,
and
so
all the faster. Yeah.
the question Ems is trying to ask, like, what is your evidence of these claims to be true?
My evidence, Allah was sent to him with a book called for Quran. The book.
Okay, that's a claim. So what is your evidence that this thing that he's that Muhammad is messenger of Allah, that Allah exists? What, like, if you're sitting there and you were going to prove to us any of these things are true, what is your strongest evidence of this?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, when you read, there was two books before Muhammad, peace of Allah be upon him, Torah and Injil. The one you call, the one the Christian brothers they call and Bible, although his real name is Injil, but I never ever seen in the Bible the word of Bible where it's written in the Injil, but that book is written in the real original book of Injil is written. Muhammad, peace of Allah be upon him, is the last messenger. He's coming. Even Jew or Hebrew.
Sure, but do you have any proof of that?
You're just making claims. That's the thing is, so like, if I came into you and said that the color purple is magical, and you said, how can you prove that magical? I said, but the purple of the color makes it thus more magical, so therefore it is magic. And if you keep going, well, what do you mean by magic? Can you prove it's magic? Well, if you read a book, it says that the thing is magic, so therefore it's magic. So like, how do you prove to me that Allah exists, that Muhammad is his prophet, and that you can prove these things to be true?
Let me know, what did you believe? Did you believe Christianity or ethics?
I'm an atheist. I'm a anomalist. So I got multiple different philosophical concepts and
But you didn't believe God, you didn't believe prophet, you didn't believe nothing.
No. So I mean, I can justify my beliefs. I have a strong epistemological framework that I use to determine how I believe things are true. And so when I'm trying to understand is, if you're going to come to me and you're going to convince me that these things are true, what is your strongest evidence for your claim to demonstrate that your religion is true, that Allah exists, and that Muhammad is a prophet, and all these things?
Peace of Allah be upon him, he came with the miracles from God when he before he become the prophet, peace of Allah be upon him. He came with a lot of miracles. Even if I tell you the
Okay, let's go this. Okay, miracles. So which miracles is recorded and documented, and that we can demonstrate to be true outside of the context of the book that is wrote? So like, the Bible itself says it has miracles. And if I read the book of the Gita, which is a Hindu text, in that it says there's miracles. So the Quran also will state stuff that is miracles. I need you to demonstrate that just because the book said it, that this either occurred and that there's outside sources or something to demonstrate it is true.
Well, a couple of minutes ago, you said I didn't believe nothing. You said
Sure, but
but now,
no, I don't believe they're true. No, I never said they're true.
Let me finish, Erik, please. And now you taking and verses from the Bible, and you told me it's from Bible, and you said now before a couple of minutes ago you say I'm atheist or I didn't believe nothing. But
Okay.
how can
No.
let
me help you. One second. Well, let me help you. I never said that those things were true. I never once said that the Bible claims are true or the book of the Gita things are true. I said they made claims that they stated were miracles. Every single textbook has things that are miracles. I don't accept it just because the book says so. So I'm asking you, just like I don't believe that the Bible is true, and I don't believe that the book of the Gita is true. I don't believe those miracles exist. how can you demonstrate to me and Ems that these miracles occurred outside
But
just
let
the
me
book
ask you,
saying?
Eric, let me ask you, if you said nothing is existent, even you deny the existence of God, the creator one, Allah, the one who created us. But let me ask you, is your brain is existent? Your brain is it existent?
Accent? What do you mean by accent?
I mean,
Define
I
it for
mean,
me.
I mean, you believe you have a brain.
Yes, I believe I have a brain.
Okay, did you ever seen your brain? Have you ever seen
Yes,
your
I've had a
brain?
I
CRT.
have,
I've had it.
yes.
How
Yes,
did you see
yes.
that? How did you say? How did
We
you
have
prove
machine.
your brain is existent thing? I mean
What do you mean
it's real.
existence think?
I mean something
Existence, I think he means.
existent. I
Uh,
mean existent. Yeah, right.
Abdurrahman, I've seen my brain.
Oh wait. So
Yeah. How you see that?
Uh,
yeah,
You've
through
never seen your
scans.
brain. You never seen your brain,
I
but
have.
you
yeah.
you
I
realize
have.
you
We both
realize
have.
you realize the doctrines. You realize
Nope, I
the
have
state.
seen. I have seen my brain. You
How
used a
did you
Sir,
bad
see,
example.
bro?
sir.
How did you
So
see?
Through
your
scans.
argument, you have to listen to both sides of the argument. If we're saying yes, we have CRTs, we have different machines we can use to see our brains. If we're telling you we've seen it, and then you keep going on with whatever you're told to say, then this isn't going to be. We have to have a back and forth conversation and listen to each other saying stuff, and then respond to what the other person's saying, not just continue to read off a script.
Let me tell you the proof from the NISA and in American and there's some girl she called for Sunita Williams. She's actually she included the NISA, and she said when we went in the sky about more than 40,000 feet, then when we left the lights of the world, we seen two places which it has a bright.
Okay, so
Finally,
what?
when
I
they
am so
when
confused.
let me
Wait, one
finish. Let
second,
me
one
finish.
second, one second, one second. Well,
Let me
now
finish, brother. Let me finish. Then you ask me a question, please. Then when they went in the sky, they saw two places which has a light, a brighten light. Actually, they said when they used the microscope, then they realized that two places is Mecca and Medina. Medina is the where our Prophet peace of Allah be upon him he died, and Mecca is the where he born, the central of the world, Mecca, the Hajj side. Then let me finish, please. Although Sunita Williams, she's not Muslim, she's Christian person, although she's from India, and she said 5 Islamic call prayers we heard when we in the sky, when we've been there, they're very far away from the earth. Every 5 times we have a 5 prayers in Islam. She said she written that in 2011. If you look for, then you can get it maybe. But
okay,
we believe Islam actually is the last religion, and Muhammad is the last messenger, and we
okay. So
believe
let's go
God
with this.
is the one who created us.
What
Okay.
if what if me and Ems found inaccuracies that's in the Quran that have been shown that they aren't true? What does that mean?
Sorry, what you said?
If me and Ems find inaccuracies that exist in the Quran, what does that mean? Like we find something
What
that's
does
not
mean
true.
accuracy?
And that's wrong. That the Quran states this to be true, and then we look into it and we find out that the Quran was wrong. It is not true. What would that mean?
No. Quran is the one of the miracles which Allah bestowed
Sure,
us
but so I'm asking you,
and bring
if this is the case, what would
is
that mean?
correct 100%.
Okay,
Hundred
but
percent is correct.
I'm just asking you, if it's the case that we look into the Quran, we find something it claims, we find out it's not true, what would that mean?
Please understand, although the Arabic language it has a very
I,
miracle.
I I'm gonna ask again. I'm gonna ask
It's a
again. I'm gonna
miracle
ask again.
language.
I'm
But
gonna
but
ask
maybe you
again.
misunderstand
No. I'm
Arabic.
asking you. I'm asking you.
Okay,
If it's
okay.
the
Tell me,
case,
please.
if I'm
Let
just
me let
asking you,
let me know that
if you're not following it. If
we follow the Quran.
me
We
and
follow the.
Ems, yes, if me and Ems read the Quran, we look into it. There's a claim in the Quran. It says, just as just a hypothetical. Let's say the Quran says that water is red, and then we go look, we find out the water is blue. What would that mean?
Never said water is
I know this.
Oh,
It's a that's what I said. It's a hypothetical.
no.
Eric,
No,
I'm
wait,
gonna answer the question for you.
I mean,
One second,
you
Abdurrahman.
misunderstood.
1 second. So, the answer would be that you do not know what red means. Red could mean multiple different things. So, the word red is composed of 3 letters, and the second one is E, and that is the same as the last letter in blue. So,
Is that how you would go? Is that, hey, if I legitly came to you and demonstrated that the claim that is made in the Quran is completely wrong, you would just make up something to justify it? Because if that's the case, you could do that with any religion. Christianity does it. Hinduism does it. Judaism does it. Like anyone who believes every religion makes up a reason why that their thing isn't actually false, but their thing is actually true. So is that the way you would hold the position by chance?
Eric, Quran and Bible is completely different because
No, they could do the
Bible.
same thing. They do the same thing. It's by
Let me
God.
finish,
It's
brother.
by God. It has to be
Let me
true.
finish, brother. Let me finish, brother. Sorry, don't get me wrong. Actually, the Bible, as we know, it has a lot of full of contradictions, and it's Matthew,
What if the
John.
Quran has a
They
contradiction?
wrote and they added whatever
What
they want.
what if the Quran has a contradiction?
Quran has no completely. Allah was told us in the Quran as well.
Wait, one sec.
Let me finish,
No,
brother.
What if we
Eric,
find
Eric,
what
you
if we
take your
find
time.
a
Let
contradiction?
me finish before I finish. You are coming. Actually, please let me explain a little bit. Then take your time. Don't get me wrong, brother. Actually, Quran, Allah was told us in the Quran, no one can change completely. No one can try to change. Even about 200 million people, they memorize Quran. If we ban all the Quran, we can return again correctly. But Quran actually is not like a
Yeah,
what do you call Bible.
Abdurrahman.
Broken flag, before
Yes, please.
you continue, can I get
Man,
your age and religion?
Are you Salafi?
Broken flag.
I'm Muslim. I'm 20. But Abdurrahman, are you Salafi?
Sorry, brother. What you said?
Are you Salafi?
I mean, you mean what?
Are you Salafi?
Salafi. All of us, we are Salaf. Salaf. Did you understand the meaning of Salaf, brother? Did you understand the word of Salaf?
Abdurrahman, if you think he doesn't speak Arabic, Moroccan flag. And Abdurrahman, I'm just, this guy, the language barrier is too much.
Yeah, he's kind of stupid.
Not kind of, but go ahead. So
The argument.
Why
is your God not a fairy tale? But were you just in a discussion with him?
He was rambling about unrelated things. So
alright, you're just yapping. Alright, but why should I worship Jesus or Muhammad? Well, you shouldn't worship anyone of those people.
Then we agree on the second point. Why is your God not a fairy tale?
Okay, let's define a fairy tale.
Why is your God not real? Oh no, why is your God not a falsehood or a myth?
Okay, you're just like okay. So what is false?
Did you read what he just said
true?
in the comments? Salaf Salah.
Salaf Salah. Salaf Saleh, bro. Oh my god. But what do we say is false and what do we say is true?
Erik, you do the whole like Philbro thing.
It's something that would be true, something that comports to reality, where something false would be something that does not comport to reality. I mean, it's a epistemological claim, but it's something.
Yeah, if that wouldn't really like tie into like, because our concept of God is a. If we go by that definition, our concept of God is true. Then, like, I just have.
I mean, if you were just like to define God in existence, that wouldn't be really interesting. If I said like God was a toaster, toasters exist, therefore God exists. I mean, that wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean that's by your definition, though. But
well, you could I mean, if I change the wording and definition of something to say like God is toaster, toasters exist, therefore God, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, I guess then your God's a toaster and we'll call it a day. But if you're doing some entity of some like either Christian or Muslim or some other thing of some thing that exists that's uh at the same time is like everything and has some kind of mind that exists outside of a brain and that does all these other things, then we're discussing some non-temporal existence, and then
Yeah,
I
I
would say
agree.
there's
That concept of God is completely unrealistic and intangible, and it's a false God. Yeah, I agree. That's not our concept of God, though. So,
yeah, like when you say the word God, would you how do you define God best way?
the best way I would just define God as omnipotent and omnipotent. Probably yeah, that'd probably be the two ones I would say for sure. The other stuff is like we can get into that more later on, but just the idea of God is gonna be circled around those two.
So he's all knowing, all powerful,
Yeah.
and you don't go into the assertions that like he's all loving or nothing like that, right?
Well, I don't believe God can be all loving, like especially like a God that is part of the three religions. Like God
uh
cannot be all loving.
do you believe in a concept of like free will?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay, so does God know all instances before they occur?
of course.
Did God create the universe?
Yeah,
Did God know every action you're going to take before you made that action?
yeah.
So when God created the universe, could he have created a universe differently than the action that you were going to take?
We don't say God created action though.
But so
No, we do.
did God create everything?
No, we don't.
Yes,
So
we do.
wait, did God create everything, or did something exist before or outside of God that God did not control?
Yeah, God created everything, but
Okay,
the
so
action,
then he would
that's
say
just a
that
straw man. Because I just
no, it
told you
isn't.
we don't. I don't believe the
So
actions are from God.
but here's the thing. So like when God was creating this universe, let's say that God had the ability to create an infinite amount of universes. You could agree with that, right?
He could create infinite amount of universes. Yeah.
Okay. So God chose one universe where
Mm-hmm.
all set of actions are to occur in, right?
Up.
God knew which actions were going to occur, right?
Yeah.
And God had the ability to choose a different one.
And he has the ability to choose different. But again, we
So
don't
he
believe
would
God chooses our actions. Again, like that's
sure
Yes, we
just
sure
do.
I'm no you I'm
who's
showing
we?
you
Could
what
we stick?
that
Could we
was.
stick there just a second, Eric?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can
do.
stick there. Okay,
Uh,
who's we?
uh, uh, People who read into Islam, I guess, since I wouldn't be included as a Muslim.
Okay.
Yes, Muslims do say so.
Okay. No, we don't.
Oh, really? Do you want to get into it?
Yep.
So you said that God didn't create actions.
Yeah.
Then why does the Quran itself say He does?
Can you bring the verse?
37:96.
Can you put it up?
I can't put it up now. You can just read it.
All right. What is it?
37:96.
Read it. But so how the argument goes is because there's multiple different universes, as God chose one universe where all these actions occur, God actually willingly made the choice of all things that will occur. Therefore, there is no free will because you cannot choose an alternate action other than the one God already knew. No free will because the only way free will could exist is if God did not know all actions before they occurred when he thus created a universe. This is why it's a philosophical argument that is really, really strong. And I've known a lot of philosophers who are religious have stated that this shows that there can't be a concept of free will with an all knowing God. One person who really does really good writing on it is, I think his name right now, but he's one of a Christian's really big theologians. It's a guy I was going to debate a while back ago, and his argument is God is thus his time, and that he doesn't know the future, because knowing the future automatically removes the ability to make choices. Because if he created all these could create all these universes and chose one, you can't make a different action. Therefore, God chose every action you were going to make. Basically, how the argument works out, and just stating no, you just have free will wouldn't be a counter argument.
Hello, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, so this just means and this says والله خلقكم ماشي.
وما تعملون. So it says that God has created you and your actions and what you do.
Allah has created you and what you do. What this means, according to the Mufassirin, is that Allah like created you. Obviously, we believe that, and the ability to like do stuff, to like do the action.
No.
For example,
He created the action
no.
itself.
No,
There's a
so
consensus. جميل. There's a consensus.
Are you doing an internal critique?
نعم. أجمع أهل السنة والجماعة على أن الله تعالى هو خالق كل شيء بما في ذلك أفعال العباد. Did God create everything?
Can you bring the ijma?
Jamil, I'm gonna get it for you. Did God create everything?
I'd like to just see the ijma before we go.
Again, answer first the question. Did God create everything?
You gotta bring that ijma, bro.
Did you answer the question? Did God create everything?
I'm not gonna answer anything until you answer that question.
Okay, I'm gonna answer it for you. God did create everything, as he said, that he created everything in the Quran. Are actions things? Yes, they are.
I'm a man of evidence. You can't.
Jamil. I said I'm gonna get it for you. Can you answer the question first?
Look, I'm not moving on until you bring me that ijma.
Again, answer the question. I'm gonna get it for you. So
I don't think you understand. Look, you could just draw me, because I'm not gonna answer anything until you bring me that ijma, and then we can speak. The same way I asked you for evidence, and I didn't press you on.
I said I'm gonna get it for you. Could you answer the question first?
Just told me to give you the verse. I brought you the verse.
I said I'm gonna get it for you. Could you answer the question first?
No, can you just bring me the ijma so we can?
Nope, you don't want my life. I said I'm gonna get it for you. Could you answer the question? Go ahead.
No, thank you.
Then fuck off.
He will. Yeah, he will.
Replied.
No, I'm gonna put it up on the screen actually right now.
Yep, I was going to say he will put it, but there's a reason he asks you that, is that you answer the question, and then if it says differently, then you either have to retract it, but it's to show your consistency. They get upset when you try to show the consistency that they're going to have. But...
Okay, I sent it to you.
You want me to pull it up?
Yep,
give me 1 second. It hasn't popped up yet. Give me a second. But yeah, I'll pull it up as soon as it hits my thing. Do you want me to bring up the? I think there's net. Do you want to bring up the next guest?
There's a guest. It's the same guy. Just a second. Let me just pull it up for you again. Let me try to pull it up myself.
Okay. All right, people, keep hitting those likes. Let's get this like number up. And I said that there was a reason why he asked a straightforward question. If a person wants to engage and answer,
it should be on the screen right now with you, or on. You should have it in your inbox now.
Check. Yep, there it is. All right, let me pull it up real quick. Green. There you go.
This is كتاب شرح أصول اعتقاد أهل السنة. This is volume 31, page 8. It mentions all of the Ahl Sunnah's opinions on the fact if God created the actions of his abd.
Do you want to enlarge me real quick?
It goes through Al Bukhari, and it goes through Ibn Abbas, and it goes through uh, uh, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, and it goes through the Sahaba and the Salaf, in which it tells you that the opinion of that was held by the Salaf was that God created everything bisifa amma, including the actions of the people. And you could read the entirety of the page and the volume itself, in which it talks about the opinion of the people.
Hopefully that helps. Huh.
You were violated for sexually suggestive content. You want to drop and come back up?
Yeah, give me.
It literally just follows logically. If God created everything, and actions are things, then God created actions. If you think otherwise, you're just dumb.
I guess I'm that attractive that even without my screen on, that people just think I'm attractive. That was interesting. All right, here. Do you want me to bring up this next guest then?
Yeah, sure.
All right. See if it connects. I hit accept. Well, I don't know.
Like, I think it is a very, very simple question. If God created everything, are actions things?
Yeah, I mean that is a
actions are a thing. So God created actions, and it literally says that God created you and what you do, which means your actions, and that is the opinion of these scholars. I have no idea why he just lied blatantly about it, meaning that he created your ability to do things. That is not what it says. It says he created you and your actions, not your ability to do action.
This is something common I see a lot of times when there is a different language, especially like how the Quran is in Arabic, that they think if the person don't speak Arabic, they can create a false narrative to explain certain things.
Like, that was simply idiotic. Like, this is not a controversial opinion. Scholars agree that God created everything, including what you do. And he said that God doesn't decide your actions. Well, no. According to the Prophet himself, that God does decide your actions. Your actions are decided by God, and he can override your will.
I mean, so as I said, that's why I ran him the argument if God's all knowing and all powerful, that it just easily can be brought down that if God can create a logical universe, can create a different universe than this, we can't do an action different than what God chose. Therefore, God chose this actions over others. Therefore, we can't have free will to make different choices. Then it goes to the case that, like, why did God choose for me to go left over right, or why did God choose for so and so to unalive so and so? All these different things are then brought into, and then you can't clearly say like God's all loving or any other concept that exists, or even mostly loving. It just breaks down really hard on the philosophy.
The logic doesn't work, and the scripture doesn't work.
Yeah, no, the philosophy. I mean, it just straight breaks down, because then I'm just going to be asking like, why did God choose for so and so to be unalived, or why did God choose for this baby to have cancer over the universe where this baby didn't have cancer? And he says, well, there was some choice that's in there. Well, could God choose in the world where that choice wasn't made over this one? Why did God choose this one? It's just a reductio. I mean, all actions I can then point to that and say, well, every single action, why was this chosen over another? But okay, guys, we need to hit these likes. Let's get these people in here. More likes, more people, more we can discuss and debate. I know you guys want someone in here and debate us. So start clicking these likes and get some people in here. I'm not live ever anymore. So hit these likes. Make me wish I was on.
The problem is that the live is restricted.
Yeah, it should have taken us off already.
It is restricted. It tells me it is restricted.
Did it say for how long?
It is not eligible for recommendation. I think I have to restart. I think you turning on your screen was too suggestive.
Yes, that's suggestive.
Very suggestive.
I am a very suggestive person. It's my good
Benny,
looks.
are you in the live?
That's my fault. I am a very attractive person. That's why that occurs.
I'm gonna restart the live because I'm restricted because Erik apparently displayed nudity on the live. So just make sure the YouTube works.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Just everybody come back.
It's just me. Jesus. Do you need some wine? Or a little cry? Don't be scared. Don't ask why. So all gods are fairy tales, right?
No, I do not know if all gods are fairy tales. I'm just saying yours is.
Oh,
He,
I'm
he,
confused.
he's holding the agnostic position, saying that he doesn't know for a fact that every single logically possible God that could exist is therefore doesn't exist, but all logically possible gods that he has heard of do not exist. That's what he's
Okay.
holding.
Okay, he's agnostic atheist. I got it. So, how do you explain the universe? Where did it come from? Why are people here? Or where do they go when they pass away if you don't believe in a God?
Out of curiosity, if let's say we just said we don't know, that wouldn't mean your God exists. You do know this, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Automatically, it wouldn't mean that. So is that the position that you guys take? You don't know why you're here. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know what happens when people pass away. You
Yeah,
don't
so
know anything.
I mean, I do have explanations of what I think, but the issue is if I came in here and said that I making the claim that like I don't believe a God exists, and you say, well, then explain every single thing that exists in the whole multi-universe. And let's say I want you to explain all of physics, and I go, let's say I don't know all of physics. That doesn't mean therefore if there's a unicorn that exists that farts the universe into existence. It wouldn't mean
Well,
anything. It
I
just
agree with
means
that,
that we
and I'm
don't
not
know.
asking
Yeah.
about physics. I'm asking about you. Where did you come from? Who created you? Why are you
I
here?
I mean, creation would be a loaded question. It's a begging the question. Basically, what you're doing is you're asserting that there's a creation before determining that we were created. I would just hold that I'm anomalous. Uh, non-realist. That I hold the position that there isn't some kind of concepts that exist outside of some physical reality, and that to say creation, that the universe
Okay,
is created is
I
really
take
wrong.
back how created. I would say, how do you exist in this world? From like, do you have an extensive explanation of how you exist in this world and the reason why you're here? What's the meaning, purpose behind your existence?
Well, meaning purpose is subjective. So that's like, how do you explain that you like vanilla ice cream? So that's a little weird question, but like if you ask me how I am here, I will give you a very great answer. This is the best answer that anyone can tell you. My mom and dad got naked together and did the horizontal, and here
Okay,
I
and then
am.
take that all the way back. Their mom, their dad, their mom, their dad, and then all the way. Give me an extensive. I asked from the beginning. I knew you were gonna say my mom and dad.
Abiogenesis?
Okay, before that.
Before abiogenesis, there wasn't life on the planet.
So how did that come about?
Abio
From zero, there came something.
from zero. So I don't believe there was a state of nothing.
Okay, so what was there?
There has always been something. Why do you think there's a state of nothing?
No, because I wanted an extensive answer to how you got
Yeah,
here,
no.
right?
So I'm hold more of a position of like a Graham Oppie. So I believe that like there couldn't exist something that of nothing. I think the definition of nothing logically makes it there that can't exist. So like when you state that how did there be something, it'd be like there can't be an existence of nothing. So this automatically asserts there has to be something. So I wouldn't know what you mean by this.
Okay, so there was always something, but you don't know what that was before abiogenesis.
No, so life, abiogenesis is just life.
So how did non-life become life?
Abiogenesis. I'm not a biogenesis major, so if you really are asking me like explain all but abiogenesis,
It's a
that's not my job.
is a faith, and you just have faith that non-life became life.
No, you can get the research studies and you can see how it goes. I
But you
just said,
haven't done it though. You haven't done it. So right now it's a belief
wait. So
system.
is your
Could we,
argument if I haven't done something, therefore it's not,
do
then
you
I'm just having
mind,
faith in
do
it?
you mind just if we, I do not care how life started. My question to you is, why is your God not a fairy tale? So who's your God? I'm assuming you're a Christian.
Bro.
You're Muslim, mashallah. So why is your God not a fairy tale?
Because we can answer all the questions that you
Oh,
guys
really?
cannot.
You can answer all the
Yeah.
questions.
Oh, what's your supporting evidence behind
For
your
example,
question?
why are you here? You don't know. I know why I'm here.
I know, I know, I know why I'm here.
Okay, what's
Well,
the meaning?
No, you
What's the
don't.
purpose
Um,
behind why you're here?
I'm here to, for example, just dig a hole in a random place in Brazil and plant a tree. That is why I'm here.
That's funny, bro.
It's not funny. It's my
You
purpose in life.
you're a
It's an objective
comedian.
purpose in life. That is exactly
Uh,
why I'm here. Now
that's
again,
okay. You're a
well,
comedian. I didn't know that.
I'm not a comedian. I'm
this
telling you
might
my
help you.
purpose.
Well, this might help you, Abby. So if I just came and said every single question, I just said a unicorn farted us into existence. A unicorn, when it farted, created life. When a unicorn farted, it created all this stuff. Just because you have an answer doesn't mean it's true. You'd have to find some way of demonstrating your claim to be true because I can easily just assert an answer. This is common way back in the old days, times 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago. Why did the stars move? Because there was an entity that is pulling it on a
I got you. I
chariot.
got
That
you.
doesn't make
I
it
got you.
true. Yeah,
No,
you
No,
can
there's
demonstrate.
what
proof
their
for it.
answer is, they don't explain it. Like, just say God did it, God. That's the only
No,
answer they have for
no.
every
Yeah,
Okay,
question.
so
that would be.
It's not
let me
like
just
they
tell you.
explain it like with
Yeah, we can
science.
explain it. We can explain it. Do
No,
you
you
know
can't.
about the contingency argument for the
When I
existence of
say
God?
how, like,
Son,
Yes.
just let us just take
okay,
guests one at
sorry.
a time. And also, I haven't introduced you yet. And Yabi,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I just wanted to tell
Yabi,
you guys.
I'm just gonna grant you that God exists. I do not care about God existing. I care about your God existing. Why should I believe in Allah?
Contingent argument is not a good argument.
Well, that was fast. Have you heard about the contingency argument for the
It doesn't
existence of God?
matter. It doesn't matter. I do not. This is not a live stream about a God existing. It's a live stream about your God existing.
Well, there's the only one God, bro.
Sure, I believe in a God that's a unicorn that farts universes. Fine, it's the only God that exists. Now you have to worship it.
What the hell?
Do you believe
Yay,
God exists?
unicorns that fart dust and that creates all of
The
us.
definition of God is omnipotent.
You believe God exists?
Sam, just
omnipresent.
I think you're friendly. I apologize. We're just doing debates. Yabi.
By the
Again.
definition of a God.
Again, it's
be
my God.
blasphemy.
My God is an omnipotent, a unicorn that farts universes.
Bro, don't do blasphemy, brother, please.
I'm not blaspheming. I'm telling you, this is my God.
God is immaterial.
Sure, my
It's
unicorn is
outside of
immaterial.
time, space, and
My
matter.
unicorn is outside of time and space.
Wait.
By saying it's a unicorn, that's matter already.
No, it is not a matter. No,
Why does God have to be
that's
immaterial?
just its name. No, just let me.
Why are you
this.
changing your
Yabi,
voice?
that's just its name. Its name is a unicorn. That is the name of my God. And it's outside of time and space, and it's immaterial.
He wants you to prove Islam is true.
Okay. So, do you want the proof for the Islam being true? It's the only consistent and true religion. That's the proof.
Wow.
What-
So the proof that it's true is that's the only true thing.
Yes.
And how do you know that?
How do I know that it's the only true thing?
Yes.
Because it has a falsification test with it.
That doesn't matter. If I give you, for example, a claim, and I tell you that 200,000 light years away from here, there's a little alien that's holding a pot on its head, and then I tell you that the falsification test for that is you going there and checking. Just because I didn't go there and check if that alien exists, that doesn't mean that my original claim was true. So how do you know that the claim was true in the beginning?
We know that Islam is true because of the Quran, and we know that the Quran is from God because the Quran has a falsification test.
No, that is not how it works.
What? I just gave you a
Jamil, I just told you. Okay. Do you believe that the alien I told you about that has a pot on its head 200,000 light years away exists?
No, I don't believe.
Why? I gave you a falsification test.
The falsification. It needs
to go there yourself.
That's not practical.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be practical. I gave you a falsification test.
Wait, bro, you're hiding your voice.
I'm not hiding my voice, Javi.
That's actually his voice.
No, I actually think he's using an app. But anyway,
He's not.
I can literally play. Wait, did he drop?
I'll give him
I can literally play the fucking live stream through my phone.
If he wants to come back
up. Hello.
Hello, Ali.
How's it going, Ali?
So, what is the main topic of this live?
To debate religion.
Okay, so you need some reasons that prove God is the only Almighty and something like that.
I need you to prove your God exists.
Okay, so as a Muslim, and I know that you don't believe in Quran or something like that, but there is something who let me surprised.
Quick, Ali, are you Shia or Sunni?
What the fuck is going on with you, bro? Bro, we discussing here matter about do you believe in God or not?
Are
don't bring
Shia
this.
or Sunni? I asked
don't
you
bring
some
this shit up
question.
here.
Could you not hear me?
Sorry.
Asking, are you Sunni or Shia?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter, yes.
You don't think? Oh, so you
those
don't
are
think
two different religions.
No, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm Muslim.
No. If you're Shia, you're not Muslim.
You think Shia are Muslim? You don't think they're Kafirs?
Well, as a Shia, I have the same thing. We think
the wage beating worked.
Sunni are not Muslims.
Exactly. So
We didn't
when we
even
ask you,
participate, Sheikh. All we
when
did
we
was ask a question and he got
Okay,
pissed.
guys, let's get
Ali,
back to the
then
main topic.
it matters. Because if I ask you, are you Sunni or are you Shia, that means you're either Muslim or you're not. So it does matter. That is number one. Number two, again, why should I believe in your God?
Well, as long as I believe I'm a Muslim, then I am Muslim. And I'm gonna answer you
No,
about
I
your
believe I'm
question.
Muslim, but I think that prayer is not real. Am I
Okay, I
Muslim?
got an answer. I got an answer for your question. So, let me say it. الله بالقرآن أكو آية تقول وخلقنا السماء بأيد وإنا لموسعون. نعم، فيعني إنه السماء تتمدد. The sky
No, that is not what it means.
حلو.
موسعون not موسعون. It
نعم.
doesn't say expand.
بالضبط.
ما تقول expand يعني.
Ali, where are you from?
خلي أكمل.
جميل، خليك تكمل، بس where are you from?
I'm from Iraq.
Jamil, and I'm assuming you went to school in Iraq.
Yeah.
Then you learned about نحو.
Yeah, sure.
And what type of word is لاموسيون?
What?
What type of word is لاموسيون?
I don't know.
You don't know what لاموسيع? If I say مثلا جرى جاري, what type of word is جاري?
Okay, so I'm not following.
What type of word?
Do you speak Arabic?
He does, but he doesn't understand grammar.
I'm starting to think he doesn't speak Arabic.
You don't. If you don't know basic,
hold
this
on.
is Ali. This is elementary level grammar. I'm asking you a simple question. What type of word is لاموسيون?
I'm not sure what are you asking right now.
Okay,
What do you
I'm
mean
gonna give
by...
you an example. I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
يلعب أحمد في الحديقة. يلعب هذا فعل، أحمد هذا الفاعل، في هذا حرف جر، والحديقة هو اسم مجرور. What type of word is لاموسيون?
Okay, so we are not talking about the existence of God.
No, we are. We are. You used an example. You said that God said in the Quran that the heavens are expanding. No, he didn't. Because expanding is a continuous verb. The word لاموسيون is not a verb. لاموسيون is a name. It's a noun. And it's a اسم فاعل, a name of an action doer. واسم الفاعل does not contain a tense. So no, it is not saying the universe is expanding.
So what do you think? What do you think he's saying?
It's not what I think, it's what the scholars have said. And this is what the language dictates. لاموسيون is اسم فاعل. It is the name of an action doer. The action doer here is God. So it says, a better translation is, and the heavens we have built with might, and we are expanders. And the expanders carries no tense. But the context of the verse is in the past tense, which means that the tense of the expander is derived from the sentence, causing it to be expanded in the past tense. This is why the scholars have said in their interpretation in the tafsir that this means that we have made this universe vast, made it in the past tense, not a continuous expansion of the universe.
Clarification, Ali. Can you repeat back Sheikh's argument?
He was going to run the old argument saying that the universe expanded and the Quran got it correct, so therefore the Quran.
No, I want to know if Ali was following what the Sheikh Ems just expounded to him. Are you there, Akhi?
Oh yeah, sorry, I just got a bad connection.
Repeat what Sheikh Ems just explained to you.
Yeah, he's told me about the Nahu and the grammar about the Arabic, and God doesn't mean that the sky is literally...
Summarize it. Yeah, I want you to tell me what the argument was and why. How is he disproving Islam? Tell us what the argument was exactly. I hate to say I didn't get it. I'm sure I'm happy to try to explain it to you. Ali. Ali, are you there, Akhi? That's what I thought.
Do you all know this song? The Ali
Yeah, I
song.
call that one.
There's like an entire song that's pretty much just his name.
Yeah, that happens all the time. I wish people days would bring better arguments.
They use
That's
it to
fun.
troll like Shias.
It's just I just wish that like people came up here and brought good arguments. I mean, they're like, hey, these are 1,500-year-old arguments
I
that
have good argument. I can convince you guys to join Islam.
that there's no Islam.
I'm just kidding. I'm actually an ex-Muslim. First of all,
Yeah,
I
I
came
thought
to
so.
say hi. Um, if you remember me, Ames, we've met on Marceline's live
I do.
long time ago. Remember?
I do, yes. And it wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago. It was a
I
few months
hope
ago.
you've been well and yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I'm glad you still speak about Islam. You should guys know that in reality, if we're talking about the Middle East or the North African countries, people can't actually speak about religion or criticize religion. Actually, you can, but not Islam. Like, for example, in Egypt, you can speak about Christianity, you can speak about Judaism. However, you can't speak about Islam. We have a guy called Sharif Jaber. He has a YouTube channel, actually, if you guys wanna check it out later.
Anyway,
He
is he still under arrest, or what's the deal? How is he doing these days? I know he wasn't allowed to
Okay,
leave.
so I think I'm gonna need you to translate this sentence, what I'm about to say right now, because unfortunately I learned English from Netflix and not from school anyway. So I have a friend. This friend, I know him from TikTok, okay? He lives in Tunisia. We both live in Tunisia. This guy debates a lot of people. He's an atheist as well. He debates a lot of people on TikTok. And he's kind of popular, okay? His name is Big Brain. He doesn't speak English. He just debates Arabs, stuff like that anyway. He have Telegram, and he used Telegram to check on the person. You could say a supervisor of this guy, Sharif Jaber guy, like the one who bring him food, stuff like that, because you know it's dangerous for him to go outside because he's been sentenced to jail for 9 years, and also he called his lawyer, and what his lawyer said that Sharif Jaber have not contacted anyone from there, and he didn't even speak to his supervisor, the one who bring him food and stuff. And this is kind of concerning because not a single police station in Egypt said that they captured Sharif Jaber. And basically we don't have any evidence of what's happening to him. However, the claim says that this guy might be a runner or going illegally to somewhere else, like trying to immigrate maybe to Europe, I don't know, from boat or something, or he's literally been kidnapped. The last option, which is the worst, he could be key. I wouldn't finish the word because I don't want to put their life in danger. But I guess you guys know what I mean. So, basically, like, all I'm trying to say is that you can't criticize religion here. You don't have the rights to do so. And when I say criticize, I don't mean like you being disrespectful. Like, I'm not saying you should, like, people are going to jail because they said F Islam or F Muhammad or F. No, you should. just you being very respectful and talking about religion can cause you a lot of danger. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And not only Sharif Jaber, actually. I know a lot of people. So again, thank you, Ems, for doing this, because I can see a lot of videos on where people talk about Islam, and some Muslims comes to them, and even non-Muslims, and they say, whoa, where is this? This is racism. You're disrespecting a faith. This is Islamophobia. Like, bro, it's a religion. Like, Islam is based on patriarchal system where women are literally the worst creation of all. And if someone speaks about this, for example, you say it's racism, it doesn't make sense, to be honest. So I think everyone should know the truth about religion, specifically Islam, because the big two are Christianity and Islam.
I agree with you. But, yeah.
You know Sharif Jaber, right?
I do.
You are Egyptian, if I remember correctly.
I am.
Also, I'm sorry about your voice, and I'm sorry if someone
I
bullied
do
you
not
because
care.
of your voice.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Thank
real
you.
voice. Yeah. I've known M's for we were just talking about that. I've known M's for at least 3 years. We're probably getting close to we might be close to 4 years by now. Shit. But yeah, that's his real voice.
And are you like Egyptian as well, or?
No, I'm from America. No, I've known M's. I
Oh,
used to do lives and debates and stuff, and I've known M's for all that time, and we became like super close. So yeah, he's like a brother to me. So he's but yeah, I've known M's for a very, very, very long time.
that's a good thing. I mean, it's nice to meet you guys as well.
Yeah.
Sorry for being rude, because I just came to say hi to only M, but
Oh, you're good.
greetings to you as well.
Yeah. No, good to meet you. Yeah, I've known I me for M's was friends when no one knew who M's was, and before all kinds of stuff. And yeah, I was big running lives myself for a very long time till what 2024 I think when I stopped running. And that's what we used to do is hours upon hours upon hours of debating Christianity and Islam 5 days a week.
And who do you think number one worst religion in all of humanity's history?
Oh no,
Probably either Christianity, not Christianity, I mean the Old Testament or the Quran, in my opinion. I still don't know which one is the
No,
worst, to be honest.
that's not fair to say, because you're comparing the modern sanitized Christianity, which was just as brutal, if not more so, as the old Christianity, to
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I've read about the Dark Ages in Europe.
yeah. So I would say
But I
they're
meant
on
like
par. I mean, the Christian K count is higher than the Abdul's K count, right? Can we agree?
Not sure about that, because also you
North
have the
America,
Islamic
South
invasion
America,
in
they
India,
both are
yeah, I
really
know,
Europe.
bad.
but also the
Yeah.
Indian invasion of a guy called Muhammadin, which is actually did take millions of people out there. You also got the Egyptians, and unfortunately we don't have an accurate numbers, but we do know that it was high numbers. And also for even Tunisia, Libya, etc. Like, for example, we have a church, or it used to be a church, it's called Olivia Palermo, because it's Italian, and there is a guy called Uqba ibn Nafa, I think, in English, I'd say. Anyway, so This guy is the one who invaded Tunisia back then and spread Islam. You see, this church I was speaking about, it was destroyed by the Muslims and instead became a mosque, a jama, and nowadays they call it
I mean,
Jama al-Zaytuna,
I think the best way to put it
the
is like
Zaytuna mosque.
both are bad. They both have a long history of bad. It's like, which one would you rather have be kicked in the man jewels or be punched in the face? I mean, like you're at both cases really, really suck. Either one you really don't want. So yeah, they're both really bad.
I don't know. I'd probably take the face punch, depending
Yeah,
on how heavy
it
the.
counts who's hitting me. Mike Tyson does it. I'm done.
Yeah, depending on how hard the punch is.
But I meant like not about historical stuff. I meant like what the book's order and says, like which book is the worst.
Oh, so modern Islam is probably a little worse than modern Christianity in certain areas where modern Christianity is bad in other areas. It's based on which perspective you're at and all this. Like in America, Islam isn't a majority, so they're more tamed back and they allow a lot of things and seem more progressive. Where like in America, and especially like southern part of America. They're very restrictive and dominant, and they can do a lot bad. Where if I go to like a Middle Eastern country or something like this, then it'd be kind of the opposite. So it's like it's based on a lot of things, based on the area, like the geography, the culture of the people, and all that stuff. So I would probably say both are have their own bads based on a lot of things.
Both are equally bad depending on geography and where you live.
Yes.
If the majority are Christians, Christianity is worst. If the majority are Muslims, Islam is worst.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so in America, we have the mayor of New York who is Muslim, who is extremely liberal, and he believes in like equal rights and protections and all kinds of stuff. Where if he, like in the Middle East, this would be like a complete opposite. So, like, he is considered extremely far left, but he's a Muslim and he's now the new mayor of New York. So, I mean, that's why it's
Yeah,
so difficult to
Mamdani, I
say.
know him.
Yeah. So eh, would he be considered even Muslim in like in a very
He's
Muslim
not
world? Probably not.
actually.
Yeah.
The comments here, any Arabic comment is actually disrespecting this guy, and everyone says
Mm.
that he's not really a Muslim because he respects the gays, he respects the
Yes.
minorities, he respects being one hand with the Jews, the Christians, etc. So there is actually a lot of sheikhs who made takfir about this guy, and a lot of them did support the idea of not supporting this guy. I mean, I'm not a left myself, but saying this not in a logical point just because he's a Muslim and supports like homosexuality, for example, because homosexuality is banned in Islam.
Yeah,
So
and exactly. So
this
that
is what I call hate speech, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I agree with you. And that's why I said like that's why when that question becomes like this almost loaded question like which one's worse. I mean, in America, I know plenty of people who have been ex-Muslim, and they're like, "Hey, in my family, they were you could wear whatever you want. They didn't have an issue with drinking like that. They were really open and good and kind to them." And then I'd go to a Christian where I've known Christians who kicked their kids out because they found out they're part of the LGBTQ community, and because they found that out, they moved them from their house and refuse to allow them to have communication. And so like I it becomes a low question because based on where you're at, it's pretty much who's the more dominant. When they become dominant, that's when they become the way they are.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Jordan,
What's up? Can you hear me?
do you want to do a quick case?
Sure, let's do it.
What do you say?
Good shit, let's do it.
Okay. A 27-year-old man presents with high-grade fever, severe headache, myalgia, and bleeding gums for 4 days.
No. Sorry, myalgia, and what was the second, or what was the final thing? Final symptom?
Bleeding gums for 4 days.
Bleeding gums.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you doing like diagnostic workup?
Say that again?
I said, are we doing like a diagnostic workup?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I want to start off with, you said fever, headache, myalgia, and bleeding gums for 4 days.
Uh-huh.
I mean, bleeding gums would raise concerns for me regarding some sort of bleeding issue. So I'd want to do blood work. I mean, possible infections. I'd want to get like a CBC, a CMP. I'd want to get vitamin levels.
Uh-huh.
You
So,
know, vitamin
hemoglobin
C
is
in particular.
15.8. White blood cells are 2.1. Platelets are 42. And hematocrit is elevated. Liver enzymes are elevated. And CRP is slightly elevated. And for their history, they have no cough, no urinary symptoms, returned from Thailand 7 days ago, and have multiple mosquito bites.
Oh, okay. Um, do they have like any sick contacts while they were there?
Say that again?
I mean, I know about mosquito bites, but any sick contacts
Any sick contacts?
in Thailand? Yeah.
Not mentioned.
Okay.
They haven't taken any prophylaxis
So
for malaria, by the way.
yeah, I know. So I don't want a blood smear. Um, and yeah, let's start with the blood smear.
So, you see normal morphology and
And
concentrated cells.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Normal cell morphology and concentrated RBCs. And you do not see any malaria parasites.
Oh,
And no tryptocytes.
okay.
You have
Okay.
leukopenia and
Are we thinking
leukocytosis,
was that like rouleau
lymphocytosis.
formation kind of thing, like the concentrated RBCs?
Say that again?
Okay. Was that were those like rouleau formations, like concentrated RBCs?
Your sound is bad.
No, I know. Um, yeah. Can we get a bone marrow biopsy? And also, what's the pattern of the fever?
Bone
Is
marrow
it
biopsy.
constant? Is it cyclic?
It is constant at
Yeah.
40 degrees.
Okay. I mean,
And
bone marrow biopsy.
sure, let's go. You have hypocellularity, and you have viral bone marrow suppression.
You have what kind of bone marrow suppression?
Say that again?
You have what kind? You said what kind of bone marrow suppression?
Viral marrow suppression.
Viral marrow suppression.
Uh,
Okay. Um, All right, so viral. Mm, uh, Thailand, that's in Thailand. Um, I'm not sure exactly what tests you run for these, but yellow fever. Can you do is what did you say about his liver? You mentioned
Liver,
liver something.
you have elevated liver enzymes,
Yeah,
but
I
there
mean,
is no hepatosplenomegaly.
okay, yeah, can you? Okay, and it's okay. I don't know. Can you still test for yellow fever? Does he have any GI symptoms?
GI symptoms, nope.
Okay. Um, okay, yeah. Test for yellow fever.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna give you a little
Yellow
hint.
fever.
A positive
Yeah.
tourniquet sign.
That's a tourniquet sign. Okay, so he's hypocalcemic. Um,
Say that again.
so he's hypocalcemic. Did,
Uh-huh.
did we get a CMP at any point?
Um,
Did he have any like again electrolyte abnormalities?
so we have so we have hyponatremia, and we have hypocalcemia, and we have normal potassium, and we have elevated AST that is uh, way more elevated than the ALT, and we have mildly elevated bilirubin.
Mildly elevated what?
Bilirubin,
How old is this guy?
27.
27. Okay. Test me. How high are the AST and ALT?
Let me get you the numbers. Yeah, so AST is 200, and ALT is at 100.
So it's not viral hepatitis.
Uh,
Um, what's his creatinine?
yeah, so it is at 1.3.
Um, test for like dengue or something.
Uh-huh. Ding, ding, ding.
Dengue.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So what is your management?
Um, I think it's just supportive care, honestly.
Pretty much. You got it right.
Yeah.
So we have
So
a new guest, Pandemonium.
fluids and stuff.
Uh, that was,
Hello.
hello. Can I get
How
your
you
age
doing?
and your religion?
Dude, I
Hi,
haven't done
hi.
medicine stuff in so long.
Surgery bros. But yeah, so
That hurt my
Pandemonium.
brains.
Can I get your age and your religion?
I am over 40 and I'm Christian.
Uh, yeah, so I guess the question is, why should I worship Jesus? Are you there?
That was a good answer. He gave the best
Yeah,
answer so far.
I'm here. I
Yeah.
like everything cut out for a second, so
I
I
was
thought I'd
asking
put
you, why should I
myself on
worship
mute.
Jesus?
Hmm?
Why should I worship Jesus?
Well, I think there's a radical like an interpretation of how the world operates through Christianity and Judaism.
Do you think Christianity is true? He might cut. So why do you think Christianity is true? How about that?
I wouldn't like come up here and say like I have a foolproof like logical deductional reason for why Christianity is true. That would be insane, clearly. I think, but there are certain clues about some conceptions of divinity which map on to our realization of reality as we understand it.
Like what? Like what? Like let's say you're trying to convince me. I came to you and said, "I just want you to prove to me that Christianity is true." What would be your best way to prove to me Christianity is true?
Okay, so I would guess I would say to you, the physical world is intelligible to your intellect. Yes or
Is
no?
in, is intelligible
Hmm.
the totality of the world?
The physical world, as we understand it, is it intelligible to your intellect? Yes or no?
I would probably say not all of it. No,
Like
I
what
just don't think I
parts?
would be that. I don't understand things like quantum physics. I have difficulty in a lot of physics area. I have not ability to understand things like abiogenesis in the state to be able to define it.
Do you think there are other human beings around you that may understand, you know,
We
quantum
don't understand
mechanics?
everything. We don't understand everything. I've
What do you
never met
mean?
a I've never met a human being that can give me the ability to understand all concepts. I think it is impossible for us to define an epistemology to be able to get an answer to all of life's questions. That we have the inability to understand all ontological properties that exist in the universe. So that I think that's not even a logical possible thing. If you're asking, do we have the ability to understand some like an epistemological claims to be able to determine if some kind of truth does exist? I would say to only a certain extent. I am an epistemological nihilist in the state that I don't think it's possible to gain all the answers that exist in the world because, like, how can I demonstrate and prove that I'm not brain in a vat? Like, can you prove you're not a brain in a vat that is having some kind of thing that's causing you to think every single thing that exists around you to be true?
Yeah, but like assuming I'm not a brain in a vat, and neither are you, or more
But that's a
accurately, you're not my brain in a vat. Do you think it's a true statement to say that modern physics and mathematics and science, through the understanding of human beings, is able to intuit, create, and discover novel factors of reality?
Okay, but just so you understand, the claim that we have to assert, thus, therefore, we can never do 100% certainty of any truth because we have to make an assertion to be able to move the progress forward. So, like, unless we can go through that past that point, the best we could say is I got 99% sure because there is a logical possible reality that I'm ready to advance. That you would agree with that, right?
I'm not entirely sure. You went through that quite quickly, but I would
Oh,
just
I
say,
apologize.
just look at
So,
the reality around you.
I apologize. So, do you agree that you and me can never demonstrate that we are not a brain in a vat that is being hardwired, programmed to believe everything around us is existing?
Yeah, well, that's trivial.
Because the reason I ask this is if this is the case, you cannot then demonstrate all things that are possible if we can't demonstrate this one thing.
What?
Okay, so you ask, can I logically demonstrate all things that exist and all that? Like, is it logically
I didn't
possible to?
ask that.
Okay, so then I might be looking at it wrong. So how I was understanding was like an epistemological question, like how that we can know things, right?
Yeah, my claim is purely that the workings of reality seem to be amenable to the workings of the human mind.
Okay, so when you're just so that I'm trying to make sure we're on the same wavelength. Because I always want to make sure. Is this more of like an epistemological question or an ontological question you're trying to ask?
Both.
Well, there's two
Both.
different things.
Yeah, but like I submit that they're connected.
Can I make an epistemological claim that something can be true and be ontologically not true?
No.
Okay, so you know the difference between epistemology and ontology, right?
Yeah, I think so, but maybe you're going to make me.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
So epistemology is just a claim of knowledge claim. It is,
sure.
let's say you came to me and said, "Hey, I know that there is not a teacup floating around Saturn because of certain things like, hey, we've never been there. It would make blah blah blah." That would be a epistemological claim of truth, which would be a true claim. Is just a justified thing that comports to reality. There
More or
could be a
less, yeah.
yeah, but there could be a teacup that is floating around Saturn that some dude somehow was able to launch into space and it floated all the way there and made it. No one knows about it. The dude never said anything, and there's the ontological claim and the epistemological claim
Yeah,
being
but we would
separate.
we would see the effect of that teapot with enough resolution of measurement in the orbit and gravitational pull of Saturn.
Maybe not teacup, but you probably would never see it with the teacup. But the
Yeah,
same.
with enough resolution, we could probably find it.
Sure, but you would agree that it could take a long time. But that it isn't the epistemological claim of saying that there is not one is a justified claim, making it a true claim of the knowledge that we have at the time. That the ontological
No,
claim
I would
does.
reject. I would reject that because, like, a teacup around the orbit of Saturn will create a gravitational effect which will be detectable.
Teacup?
Yeah, a teacup around the orbit of Saturn will create a gravitational effect which will be detectable and will be measurable and will be something that can be
Well,
modeled and something that could explain any variation of any minuscule variation of the orbit of Saturn around our star.
you know a teacup isn't big enough to cause a gravitational pull.
Do you know what gravitational waves are?
Yes, I do know what gravitational waves are. You do know that
And gravitational waves, are they infinitesimal or are they macro?
they are macro, but like so. The reason I'm saying
They
this is
can be
that
infinitesimal. Like, you can detect the presence of a teacup around the orbit of Saturn if you had precise enough measurements.
how many
Obviously.
like you do know Saturn has a ring with a bunch of rocks, right?
Yeah,
Actually, they're
sure.
ice and all. Okay, so do you think that we use that and have the measurement of all the different things that are measured around them?
No, we average down.
Sure. And do you
Yeah,
think that if we put something the size of a teacup, which is what, let's say 4 inches high and like 6 inches wide, around all this
sure.
stuff on a little thing, that it would alter the gravitational pull of a planet that is such huge, larger than the whole world, that it
Sure.
would measure so much we could then determine it must be a teapot that or is
If
around
we
there?
if we introduce it apropos of nothing, then yes, of course, we'll detect the gravitational disturbance of a teapot around Saturn. Clearly.
Sorry, I got the bat signal for physics. And why are we talking about teapots around Saturn? Was it called Russell's
That's something
teapot or
else.
something?
Okay, so he's saying that we could, if a teacup was measuring around Saturn, we would be able to measure and determine it's there using gravitation.
No, not by any technology that we have today. If you don't know,
Yeah,
like,
but
where
in
exactly
principle.
it is. I mean, technically
No,
speaking,
no,
it
but
would have the
I
gravitational
think
influence on everything, but you would not be able to distinguish it from just background noise with
Yeah,
any
but
level
sure.
of technology that's
But
conceivable.
Quantinaut, like the scenario that was given to me, if you have Saturn's orbit doing its thing, and then you introduce the teapot into the gravitational well of Saturn, and I'm saying if you had enough precise measurement information, you will be able to detect the introduction of the teapot into that gravitational field.
That'd take some extremely advanced
Pandemonium.
technology
Wait,
that
really?
we
But
don't have. But
in principle.
I mean,
Well,
sure,
no.
technically. I mean,
Really
like, if you
quickly,
had
though.
just like a big enough
Really,
telescope, you'd just be able to see it, right?
Yeah, sure. Or if you had
well, no.
precise enough
Can I just
measurements
mention something?
about the orbit.
Can anybody hear me at all whatsoever?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, because I think what you're missing is that even if you could detect its like gravitational pull, however infinitesimally small, there'd be no way of distinguishing it from like a meteorite or something like that got captured, by Saturn's gravity, right? So like even if you detect the gravitational pull, you would never be able to say, oh, it's a teapot specifically.
So I am familiar with this like thought experiment, which is basically just saying you can't disprove that there's not a teapot floating around Saturn just because it's that's a very hard, that would be an incredibly difficult thing to detect. And yeah, sure, like technically speaking, if something exists in the universe within our observable universe, there is some level of influence it would have on the surrounding universe that you could in theory detect, but that's not really like the point of the thought experiment, right?
But
Because we don't
I
have that
think
technology.
yeah, but I would say in principle, there is a gravitational effect of a teapot in orbit around Saturn, which is distinguishable from an object which does not look like a teapot. No matter how infinitesimal the difference
Based
is.
Maybe, but like again, that's
based
sort
on the
of
gravitational pull
not really the
alone,
point of the thought experiment. Because
No,
the
no,
whole point
I
is that
realize
like
that.
it's
I'm
and
just,
also
infinitely
based on the
with our current
gravitational
level
pull
of
alone,
technology. So
absolutely.
today you
I'm
wouldn't be able to
arguing
prove it
down
wrong.
details here. I'm
So
arguing
this
down precision.
so this might
I'm just saying, in principle, you would be able to detect the existence, in theory, if you had measurement capabilities precise enough. In principle, you would be able to detect the existence of a teapot just appearing around Saturn if you had enough.
I mean, like you could just extend the analogy to say, like, if you were there in Saturn's rings and then you saw the teapot pop into existence right in front of you. Sure, yeah,
Yeah, but like
but
you
that's
don't
like
need to
that's
be
not the
there to
point of the
see
whole
it.
analogy.
No, but the point of the analogy is you would see the effect of the teapot popping into existence in terms of the gravitational behavior of Saturn.
The
Surely.
whole point of the thought experiment is that we don't have that level of technology, so it's not something that is provable today.
so
But in
let
principle.
let me so the whole thing or the purpose was I was even going with the teapot is to explain the difference between ontology and epistemology, that if I came to you and made a claim, a truth claim, that there is no teapot that is circling around Saturn, it is a justifiable claim that can be determined as true, even if there is an ontological teacup that is circling that I have no inability to do. As the
Yeah,
true
actually,
claim in
Yeah,
ontological.
but that's my point.
we
Like
can adjust.
we could detect that
Well,
teapot
we
around
can
Saturn
we can
with
very
accurate
easily
enough
adjust.
information.
We can very easily adjust the thought experiment to be truly undetectable, which is to place the teapot outside the edge of our observable universe.
There we go.
In
Yeah.
that case, it would be truly fundamentally unobservable.
And Quantonaut, what would you define as like outside of our universe?
It'd be so far away that the light would never reach us. The universe is expanding. The universe at that point is expanding away faster than the light it would take to reach us. So any
Sure.
effects from that teapot would, as soon as it spawns into existence, the effects of that teapot would expand in a bubble outward at the speed of light. But the
Yeah.
universe at that point is receding further away, faster than the speed of light, and therefore the bubble of influence of the teapot would never ever reach us.
So I guess it sounds like you're advocating like an inflationary multiverse model.
It's not a multiverse. This is just our current universe.
Yeah, it's just
We know our current universe has a limit as to how far we can see due to the fact that it's expanding.
But
This is
how do
just
we know?
how the observable universe is defined.
Sure, but how do we know that matter exists beyond our observable horizon of our universe? Isn't
Well,
that
we
a
can do
proposition?
inference. We can do inference that matter exists beyond the edge due to the fact that within our own observable universe, the distribution of matter is mostly uniform. It doesn't like slowly recede away as you get further and further to the quote unquote edge.
Sure.
And then there's also like principles of space that the laws of physics don't really depend on location within the universe. And we're not in any specific special location within that universe. So
what do you mean don't depend on location?
The laws of physics don't change depending on where you are. It's the same laws everywhere.
Right, so you're talking about gauge invariance.
It's a type of invariance, but not specifically gauge invariance. But regardless, the whole point is that everything within our observable universe leads us to a reasonable inference that beyond the edge of our observable universe is at least very similar to what is within our vicinity.
Right, so why would we assume that there are different dynamics beyond the edge of our universe? Which, unless
we wouldn't.
we
That's
wouldn't.
the point.
So it's the same.
Very likely, yeah. But my point is that if you spawned a teapot beyond the edge of our observable universe, there is fundamentally no way to detect it. It would make absolutely no impact on us if the teapot was there or not there.
Yes.
But the way that the teapot interacted with the laws of physics beyond that, beyond our horizon of observability would be the same as we expect if it were within our horizon of observability.
Sure.
Or would you expect a different result?
No, I mean, it would still interact with that region of the universe in a certain way, but like the whole point is
in
that
the same way would it interact with the region of the universe outside of our observable horizon in the same way as within our observable horizon?
Yeah. The horizon is only just like it's almost like an illusion based on the observer, right?
Yeah.
The actual it's not like there's an actual edge of the universe somewhere where the laws of physics fundamentally change. It's just due to the fact that light takes time to travel and you're at one spot within the universe.
Yeah, but there is a horizon edge of which we can't reasonably expect to have causal inference beyond that horizon.
That's my point. Yeah.
So why would you expect the teapot to have a different physical dynamics beyond that horizon edge versus within that horizon edge?
I don't think I ever said that. I do think that it would.
Okay,
my point is that you can't distinguish if that teapot exists or not.
Yes, that's all. That's
over and above
it. Yes,
but over and above its gravitational effects within what we can observe.
It would have no gravitational effects on what we could observe if it's beyond the edge of our observable universe.
But if you put a teapot in orbit around Jupiter or Saturn,
I'm modifying the thought experiment.
Okay.
To be more accurate.
Accurate to what?
More true to the original thought experiment, that it is not something that is detectable.
What about gravitational waves in our universe? So
those travel at the speed of light. And so therefore will also expand around the teapot at the speed of light.
And would they be something that we could measure and conserve at the infinitesimal
not if it's beyond
limit?
The edge of the observable universe.
What about on a conformal boundary?
That doesn't change anything. If it's beyond the edge of the observable universe, it's unobservable by electromagnetic radiation, other types of radiation, gravitational waves, any type of causal link. It is fundamentally outside of our observable universe and cannot be detected at all.
Which is, sorry, just to be clear, gravitational waves are propagating beyond...
Well, firstly, a teapot would not emit gravitational waves. You need a, a mass dipole or quadrupole moment.
What about two teapots in orbit?
Would not have any quadrupole moment.
What about
two teapots? Even radiate gravitational waves.
What about two teapots in orbit?
I don't... two teapots in orbit around each other maybe could. I suppose they would, because
Yeah,
black
of
holes do.
course.
But again,
Yeah.
we're getting away from the original thought experiment.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna
Okay.
say this is
we're
getting way
diverting
far
away from what the whole original point of this was.
Yes.
It's just
Okay.
that we're coming up with a scenario in which you have a positive claim that cannot be tested.
Yes.
And
But of
that's what I
course,
came up with.
of course, it can be tested if a teapot turns up in orbit around Saturn. That can be tested.
The whole point is that I come up with a scenario that can't be tested. It is a claim that cannot be tested. That is the entire point of the thought experiment.
Yeah.
So
And sure, the teapot around Saturn, that is mostly undetectable to us. But
What
sure,
do you mean
maybe
mostly?
in principle, in theory, it can. But
Yeah,
if
of
you
course,
say
it will
there's
have a
teapot beyond the
gravitational
edge of the observable
disturbance.
universe, that is something that fundamentally cannot be tested.
Okay, yeah, of course. If you put the teapot beyond the light cones of our observable universe, but if you put a teapot in orbit around Saturn, it will have a gravitational effect that you can detect.
Forget Saturn. That's irrelevant to the conversation now.
Okay, I'm forgetting
Put
Saturn.
that out of your mind.
Another one. There's another one. I can't remember the exact name of it right now, but there's a cat. It's in a box, and there's poisonous gas.
I wouldn't use that one.
Yeah,
let's not confusion than it's worth.
Let's not confuse multiple matters together.
The whole point of this thought experiment is that if I have a positive claim that cannot be tested, and we have no motivation or logical inference to believe that this claim is true, then it can be dismissed without evidence. So if I were to make the claim, there is definitely a teapot beyond the edge of the observable universe at this specific location, you could call my claim BS, because that's just a nonsense statement. And sure, technically you can't prove it wrong, but that's irrelevant to its matter of factness, right?
What do you mean matter of factness?
Like the actual truth of the statement or not.
Quantum, I'm sorry, like, just give me a second. Is this how you prove, like, Jesus Christ is God and he exists? Is basically because we have no proof that he doesn't? Because you can use this false fallacy in any God possible. Like, I'm an ex-Muslim, for example. Can you prove Allah doesn't exist? If we're talking about scientists and the universe, like, we have zero knowledge about the whole universe. Like, you can't just make claims about how the universe.
I'm gonna push back on that. We have
just give me a second, please.
Yeah, no, but you said we have zero knowledge about the universe. That's factually and demonstrably incorrect.
Knowledge, like, let me first finish my sentence so that you'd understand before you.
Okay, well, don't say we have zero knowledge about the universe.
He didn't.
No, I'll tell you what I mean exactly by it. I did, but it's not how you think it is anyway. So, like, for example, our closest galaxy is called Andromeda. Do you know how many years we need to reach this galaxy if we move at the speed of light? Do you have any idea? Hello?
That's an absurd question. I mean, just patently, that's an absurd question.
Can you just tell me if you know the answer, or even if you don't, it's okay, I'll tell you.
No, well, there is a causal separation between Andromeda and our galaxy, obviously. There are events that happen here in our galaxy.
So you don't want to answer the question and you want to go to something else. And okay, so anyway.
Okay.
All what I was trying to say is that you can just say that
Kendira,
Jesus Christ,
tell me what the causal separation.
Just for a second? No, I can't, because nobody here, not a single human, claimed to have all the knowledge about the universe and the galaxy and everything. Like,
so how
this
far away
is just a claim of religious people. It's simply what I'm trying to say. If you say, or your claim of Jesus, how far away? If you move at the speed of light, you need 2.5 million.
Yeah, how far away is Andromeda?
What is with the weird whispering?
Can we make this conversation more serious, please? I'm not sure if you're trying to make fun of me or something, because I'm kind of being honest here. I'm trying to help you, like, you know, because if you're all what I'm trying to say is that Ems asked you a simple question: why do I need to believe or worship Jesus? And basically you went to the universe and Jupiter and the cup behind Jupiter. Can you prove it doesn't exist? Blah blah blah. Like
No, I was just asking the
this
teapot
isn't a.
question.
Can you, like, this is the fifth time I'm asking you nicely to just let me finish, please. I'm not sure why you still interrupt me.
Yeah, because I was
English
just
is not
talking about the
my native
teapot.
language, so I'm kind of struggling to speak with you right now. I'm not very educated in English, so could you please just let me finish? So what I was trying to say is that I can also claim that there is a blue dragon behind, I don't know, behind our galaxy or something. And since you can prove it, doesn't exist, sorry, then yeah, by default, it could exist, which is also false claim, because if we go by this code, then Allah exists, then Buddha exists, then Hindu exists, then Samara exists, then Odin exists, then all the gods exist.
No, you could
The
prove
proof we have that
you could prove
Jesus
a
doesn't
dragon
exist
exists
and
in the
Allah.
gravitational well, because
Okay,
there would be
okay,
one measurement where it
this
doesn't
is
exist and one measurement where it does exist. It would be detectable.
so what I wanted to
Gravity
say is
Why are
our
you bringing
proof
up
and
gravity when talking about dragons? What is going on here?
yeah, he thinks that I'm speaking
Gravity
about.
communicates information. Okay, like
That's not
you
the
put.
point.
Yeah, well, in a way,
The
you
only
could
reason
like
why I
you
said
can
about
like
narrative
dragon is
point.
translate
because I'm speaking about a
gravitate.
supernatural being, like, by the way.
In
Can
a
you
way, you
just
can
understand
translate
Just
gravity
and to
substitute,
into
answer?
just substitute it
communication.
with beyond the edge of the observable universe, Allah exists. Then there is no gravitational information
Exactly,
being
that's
transmitted.
what I'm saying. Like, you can just say this, you can prove my God exists, then by default, yeah, he does exist. Like, this is actually, we can prove you that he doesn't exist, and the only thing we could say about Jesus isn't really God is the lack of evidence. You have zero proof of this, whatever call himself Jesus or something. He didn't give you a single proof that he's actually a God.
If
Let's
you could
just
give
say by
me
default he did
gravitational
exist
evidence that
historically.
Jesus was the Messiah, then I'd listen to that. But till then, anyways, I gotta get going. I
So
hope
yeah,
that
that's
cleared
exactly
up
what I wanted to
things.
say, because like I'm
I
an
think we're
ex-Muslim
coming.
myself, and
Yeah,
thank
no
you
problem.
for.
Anytime.
But that's an absurd statement, obviously.
Absurd, why? Like I told you, like for example, I'm an ex-Muslim. I used to believe in Allah. Can you give me
Yeah,
an
but
evidence that Allah doesn't exist? Because he's all
uh,
powerful, all known, all blah 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 blah. He didn't resurrect as a human being, stuff like that. We can't see him. Can you prove he doesn't exist?
what are you talking about, bro?
I'm using the same false claim that you used. These basically, if you have no evidence of proving my God doesn't
I
exist,
wasn't,
then by
dude. I
default there
wasn't making.
is a slight
I
chance
was
that.
just. I was just saying, like, if there's a an object within the gravitational field, it will be detectable.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do you not think that objects in gravitational fields are detectable?
Do you want my honest response? I legit don't care, and I think it's irrelevant from the question Ems gave you.
Do you think science is irrelevant to like how you conceptualize your belief?
You can't use science.
To
You
proving
can't use
Jesus is God,
science
yes,
to prove
it is
God,
relevant.
because yeah, it is relevant, because in your Old Testament we came from Adam and Eve, and scientifically you can't. How many? How many like? Wait, do we need? How many generations do we need, like, until we can't like spread humanity anymore because of insect marriage?
Are we talking about
Like if I
Genesis
marry my
3?
sister, yeah, we're talking about, yeah, the Genesis. The Old Testament.
Like Gen 3. Okay, so are you okay talking about Genesis between the J and the P source?
What does that mean? Because I have the Arabic version.
Okay, so like in terms of a
Hold on, let me
analysis of
bring my book 1 second.
Yeah, sure, bring it. Is it okay for you to understand Genesis between a J and a P source, especially in the early chapters?
Yeah, I mean, it is in the early chapters where it speaks about how humanity started, firstly from
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, and then their children,
Yeah,
which
so
is
does
breeding, you know?
does
The new
JP
scientific.
mean anything to you?
Yes, what about it?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by JP
Talking
exactly.
about he's talking about not stuff necessarily in the Bible, but the not the scriptures, but the evidence manuscripts.
When the sources, which sources?
Yeah, it's source critical. Like, I mean, I think there's a clear differentiation between Genesis 1P and Genesis 3J. I
Okay,
mean,
hold on. We're getting way in the weeds. What is a positive claim you can make about the Bible that we can discuss?
that it does not describe the creation of the universe, which I think the person I'm speaking to wants to make that claim.
No, you're saying you're a Christian, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of Christian are you? What flavor?
I'm Catholic.
Okay, you're Catholic. Okay, so you agree with evolution, correct?
Of course.
Okay. So what he's asking is, do you believe that Genesis, either one or two, or even the after the flood, is that something that literally happened? Like, did we all literally come from Adam and Eve and then from Noah and his children?
Scientifically, you can't
How would
prove
that be
it, actually.
consistent with how would that be consistent with what I said?
I didn't say it was. I asked you a question.
Yeah. So yes, like my beliefs are consistent with what I've already said.
So you do believe that we all came from either Adam and Eve or from Noah and his children?
No, of course not. It's just insane.
He's Catholic. They're not going to believe
Why?
in the old. They don't believe in global flood.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to get him to make a statement of fact. So what about like the bad stuff that God does? Do you believe that that happened?
Which bad stuff?
Like what God did to punish David.
Punch who?
Pardon?
Punch
David.
who? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Untrue? I said, do you believe, what about what God
He
did to
said
punish David?
punch who, David.
David. Oh, you're talking about the David Bathsheba cycle.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't believe that the Deuteronomistic historian was necessarily recording accurate history.
Is there anything that is an accurate history in the Bible that you believe?
Yes, but the
Wait, so
Deuteronomistic
if history
historian is
contradict your
quite
book,
a
then
sorry.
I'm
The
sorry, 1 second.
Deuteronomistic
If history
historian is
contradicted,
quite a tough source to hold to and to stick by.
Well, it's not in Deuteronomy, but I understand what you're saying. But okay, so
No,
what is a
it's not in Deuteronomy. The Deuteronomistic historian.
yes, I know. But what I'm asking is, what is a positive claim you can make? Like you can read in the Bible and you go, yes, this happened, or yes, this is something that God did.
I would say the Table of Nations.
The Table of Nations.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. What is the Table of Nations?
The Deuteronomistic like view that the deity of the ancient Israelites had a conception and a broad kind of appeal, or maybe not appeal is the right word, but application to the peoples around them.
I'm asking you, I may not be making myself clear. Is there like a verse that you can read and go, this is true?
In the Bible. Why would I mean, that's insane.
Okay, so the Bible isn't necessarily true fact. It's something else. Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, of course, it's like developed through interpretation and history.
So what I'm hearing you say is that nothing in the Bible, you can't point to a verse in the Bible and you go, that is true, that happened in reality.
Right. So, like, what I'm hearing you say is for the Bible to be accurate, is you have to pinpoint aspects or things that it says and says that's true. But I think that's absurd and insane and crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you think that?
I think she's just asking questions. I wouldn't have read that into what she was saying. Do you
Yeah,
believe
but
that
I'm
Jesus?
just saying,
Do you
like,
believe that?
why
Do you
would you
believe
think
that?
that? Like, why?
Do you believe? Do you believe that Jesus actually rose from the dead?
In terms of the biblical stories or in terms of a faith proposition?
No, no. I'm asking you if factually the man God named Jesus died and physically rose from the dead.
But so you're like reducing it to a proposition.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm done with this guy.
Yeah,
You're
you're out.
kind of,
Like Rod, you can fuck off, you moron.
the problem is that you're not
I
making
think
any
you should be
claims.
So I guess what I'm trying to push, like, and like the like what I'm trying to push forward here is like why should we assume that there should be propositional true and false statements when it comes to belief? That
That's not what I'm
seems
asking. That's not what we're
okay.
talking about. If
Okay, so you're not asking about propositional statements.
so if you're Catholic, and
Yes.
and there's lots of different flavors of Christianity and lots of different types of Catholics. What I'm hearing you say is that nothing in the Bible is necessarily true or false. It's a matter of interpretation and what you do with it.
No, it's a matter of understanding where those stories and where those parables came from.
Okay, so they're not necessarily true facts.
What is a true fact when you're interpreting like where it came from?
It's not an interpretation. Like
Okay, so
if it
so there has to
says
be a true interpretation.
it's not an interpretation, it's a statement. If it says Jesus rose from the dead, is that a true fact or not?
Is that a statement?
Is what a statement? I just asked you a question.
Yeah. So is a sentence like that a statement, like a proposition?
Law is just asking you, is the statement of Jesus rising from the dead an objectively true statement, or is it some kind of created story for some kind of analogy or something like that?
Well, then I guess we have to say, like from the Bible, is the world being created in 7 days an objectively true statement or an analogy or something like that?
Well, we're just asking on the Jesus, just on the Jesus. With Jesus rising, did that objectively happen, or is it a story that has some like symbology that is created into it? So
What?
which
Well,
one?
and I guess I'll push back and say, like, did Adam and Eve happen, or is that a story that had some symbology related to it?
Is there any possibility that you could just answer the question? Did Jesus objectively rise from the dead?
Did Adam and Eve objectively create the whole of the human species from two people?
He's saying no.
Every time I ask him a question, he's just asking another
I know,
question.
but he's saying no.
I guess no.
Yeah, no,
So I guess
like I'm
Jesus
saying,
never
like,
rose.
thank you,
I
thank
would
you,
say no.
Ernst.
So then Jesus never rose from the dead.
So Jesus never rose from the dead. What are we dealing with?
So, if that's the case, what does the Bible say if Jesus never rose from the dead?
Okay, what does the Bible say if Adam and Eve weren't the first two people?
Allergic to answering questions directly.
No, I'm trying to make a point that you guys are like trying to drill down into something and blow up a certain facet of the Bible, but
No, we're trying to
ignoring.
understand what you believe. I don't even understand what you believe.
Well, why
I
don't you?
think I think what I understood from him is that he doesn't believe, or he doesn't necessarily believe everything the Bible says to be literal truth. Am I wrong?
I think that would be an accurate statement, obviously, because if we take everything to be literally true, then we're forced in a young earth creationist paradigm, which is insane and nuts and crazy. So if we are not willing to accept a young earth paradigm, then we have to look a little bit deeper about what's happening, in my opinion. We can just like go cray cray and just assume everything's literal and play that game, but I think that's a little bit silly, personally.
Yeah, so how? So you believe? Do you believe that Jesus, like for example, took the punishment of original sin?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big. Yeah, for various technical reasons, original sin I think is a little bit of a misdemeanor, but I think Jesus took the deepest and lowest incarnation of human experience in his life.
And when it talks about Jesus resurrecting, do you think that that is a do you think that that is an event that happened on Earth?
What, like like a
Yeah.
corpse stood up and physically walked around?
Uh,
I'm just asking.
yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of nuts. Obviously,
Uh,
corpses don't stand up and walk around.
uh, I'm starting to feel like to other Christians, you would be a Christian in name only.
No, because I think there's a level of resurrection, and there's a level of kind of engagement in terms of the spiritual life as dictated and as indicated by the early Christians and the early texts. So I think I think it's fallacious to say that if you don't believe in a bodily resurrection, then de facto you're not a Christian. I think that's stupid.
Uh,
And I think
no, I
that's,
said to other Christians, you would sound like you're a Christian in name only.
well, let them talk for themselves. What do you think?
Okay. And do you believe that any miracles happened?
What do you think? Do you think I'm a Christian in name only?
I do not know enough about Christianity.
It's a good answer. Okay.
So
So
I'm, I'm gonna I'm gonna be leaving the live soon because I have to go to bed. But I had a one more question. So, do you believe that any miracles happened in the Bible? Like any of the miracles in the Bible actually happened in actuality?
yeah, it's a good question. I think the perception of the authors of the Bible saw those events as miracles. I think we can like chip away and like decompose those events into something rational that we can explain, by and large. But potentially there was something that they witnessed. But if I had to put my money on the table, I had to make a bet, then I would say no. There was no miracles and there was no weird behavior. I think all of it is about a strong conception and understanding of divinity, which evolved from Second Temple Judaism into the early Christian movement, and the Christ figure epitomized that development. And I think that's a beautiful intellectual exercise, and I think it's a beautiful expression of grace on earth.
So, I'm assuming by your answer that you do not believe that Jesus was born through a virgin.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, fine. Like, yeah, the divine, yeah. Maybe not. I don't think in terms of Christology it matters whether Mary was a pure virgin or someone who was subject to assault. Because
okay,
the Christology is in terms of entering humanity at its lowest point.
But do you think that Jesus was fathered by a man?
Sorry?
Do you think that Jesus was fathered by a man?
No, absolutely not.
So he would have been created via spontaneous whatever in Omen.
By intervention in terms of like the worst circumstances imaginable.
So you think that, for example, it could have happened through a graping?
Yes.
But then
Yes.
he would have been fathered by a man.
No, because I think like in terms of the Christology, in terms of Christ entering like the worst aspects of humanity, like in terms of the Christian conception, which may be wrong, may be right. I don't want to like proselytize and say this is the truth, but like let's take the example that Christ entered humanity in the worst imaginable circumstances. Then, of course, if he was biologically the product of an obscene violation, that would only create the greater compactification of the grace to say that God is coming into the worst of humanity to lead humanity out of that disgusting depths and low understanding. So yes, if biologically he was a creation of a grape, that would only, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and I probably am, that would only enhance the Christology of the message, which, in other words, from the worst in life comes the best.
I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, but my question was more, again, as you said, biologically. Biologically, would he be the son of a man?
Biologically, yes. Yes, I'm not going to stand here and say that there is like reality intervening events where, like, you know, there's a magician which slaps his hand and makes crazy non-causal things causal.
But
Or
then how would you like distinguish between a universe in which a god exists and a universe in which a god doesn't?
So the distinguishing factor for me is the entering into human suffering.
And how would you tell that God entered into human suffering?
By the story of, in my opinion, by the story of Jesus entering into this world, potentially through assault.
But the problem there is that how would you distinguish between that being a true story and that being a made-up fiction?
Well, that's, my friend, that's just faith. That's just understanding. There is no, I have no like mathematical, logical deduction sentence which can take you from not believing it to believing.
Yes,
But all I can say that is if human beings were worthy of redemption, then a great precursor or indicator of that worthiness of redemption is for the God that we worship, true or false, to enter our reality and become the worst of us and suffer with the lowest of us, because redemption is not reserved for the greatest. It's there for all of us, no matter how low and how far we fall.
I mean then, like, if there was another story that is similar to the story of Jesus, in which a man also carries the same message, how would you know which one of them is the true divine being?
Well, just by my I mean, if they both had the same story, then they would, in my metric, in my understanding, they would both be divine, because the point is the entering of suffering and the entering of understanding of the pain of the lowest of the low, of the worst of the worst, and bringing that pain back up and forth into some kind of redemption.
Yeah, so let's say that there's a story going around on TikTok about me, and that story also says that I am God and I have come in flesh to suffer with humanity. You said that then I would be also divine.
Yes.
But would I actually be divine, or would my story just be a story? Like, I do not understand what you mean by me being actually divine just because I have a story.
That's a really great question. I don't, like, honestly, I don't know. Like, if you suffered and, like, if you put yourself in front of all the pain of the world, like, if you took upon yourself all of the suffering around you and the world, and you made yourself, I don't want to use the word sacrifice because that's it's loaded, and if you made yourself a beacon for that pain, then yes, I would say that you were divine and purely divine. And, like, I would say that
But
Jesus,
there is no way to, like, know that I did that, besides me telling you that I did that.
no, there's no test, there's no teapot around Saturn, there's no gravitational wave. Of course, there's no, in my opinion, I could be wrong, there's no scientific test where I can divine the intention of your heart. Of course, I cannot tell if you're doing that sincerely or if you're doing that falsely. But I make a choice and I make a assertion of belief and faith that Jesus made that choice purely and divinely, not out of any other self-interest. But I can't prove it. There's no experiment I can run on Jesus. There's no physics that I can point to that says that he did that. That's just purely a choice of mine. But I think it's an important choice to say that the highest amongst us can be brought lowest amongst us, and that in the suffering of the poor, of the weak, of the disenfranchised, there we find divinity. We don't find divinity in the Caesars or the Bows or the kings. We find divinity in common human beings. And for me, that is the message and that is the beauty. And I could be wrong.
So is it fair to say that what connects to you most is the story, not the, not the, not what, not the divinity itself?
It's the message of it, that purity and the grace, and that God can come from the lowest circumstances and he can engage with us. And he's not like a divinity which is just like lords or like kings of the lightning, or like Lord of the heaven or Lord of the top of the mountain. No, he's here with us. He's suffering with us. He's making his way with us, and we are with him, and he is with us. That for me is the message, and that's the resonance that I have. And like I said, I can't prove it. I can't tell you that he's here with you, me, or anyone else. But that's what I choose to believe.
I think that you've answered all of my questions, so I'm just gonna end the stream and go to bed. Hey, it was nice
Okay.
talking.
I guess in that sense, I think they
Slavery.
Jesus.